Have you ever noticed that there are hidden patterns in some of the world's most read books? Almost like a secret code hiding in plain sight that once you see it, it just changes how you read everything. Well, today, we're going to crack one of those secrets wide open.
So what are we talking about? The number 12. This number shows up in the Bible more than 180 times. Now, come on, that is way too often for it to be just a random number. Something important is definitely going on here.
So that really makes you wonder, right? Is this just a coincidence? Maybe one of the authors just really liked the number? Or is it something more? Like a divine signature woven right into the text itself. That's the mystery we're going to explore.
To really get this, we have to understand that for the ancient biblical writers, numbers weren't just for counting. Nope, they were packed with symbolic meaning, kind of like little theological statements. Finding this pattern is like discovering the key to a secret code.
And I promise you, this isn't just some piece of trivia. Once you see this pattern, you'll start noticing it everywhere. It's going to give you a totally new lens for reading these ancient stories.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. To really understand the power behind the number 12, we actually have to break it down. The whole secret to 12, well, it's found in two other smaller numbers, 3 and 4.
Okay, so let's start with 3. In the Bible, 3 is the number of divine perfection and completeness. It points to everything that's solid and real and whole. The most obvious example, right? The Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. 3 is basically God's number.
So that's 3. Then you've got 4. 4 is the number of the earthly realm, of the created world. And it makes sense when you think about it. We talk about the 4 corners of the earth, the 4 seasons, the 4 cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. 4 is the number for the physical world God made.
Okay, you ready? This is where the magic happens. What do you get when you combine God's divine perfection, the number 3, with his earthly creation, the number 4? In biblical thinking, you multiply them, and 3 times 4 gives you 12.
And boom, right there. That's the meaning of 12. It represents God's divine government established right here on earth. It's heaven's perfection, number 3, intersecting with the created order, number 4. So 12 becomes the number of God's perfect authority and his complete organization in the world.
All right, so we've cracked the code. Now let's go on a hunt and see how this plays out across the Bible. We're going to start way back in the Old Testament and see how this idea gets built right from the very beginning.
The first big example, God's entire government on earth starts with the 12 sons of Jacob, who become the 12 tribes of Israel. But what's so wild about this is, these guys were a mess. I mean, you look at the list. Reuben lost his birthright, Simeon and Levi were violent. These were seriously flawed people. And yet, God's perfect order, his government of 12, was built through these imperfect, messy lives. It's pretty amazing.
And this pattern just keeps popping up. When Moses sets up worship, he builds an altar with, you guessed it, 12 pillars. When the Israelites crossed into the Promised Land, they grabbed 12 stones from the river. The high priest wears a breastplate with 12 different stones. Even King Solomon's throne has 12 lions guarding it. It's the same signature over and over, showing God's complete government over his people.
Okay, so fast forward a few hundred years. This brings us to Jesus, and when he shows up on the scene, he taps right into this ancient, powerful symbol. I mean, his choice of 12 apostles, that was no accident. He was making a huge statement.
Look, by picking 12 guys, Jesus was basically saying, we are building a new Israel. The Old Covenant was founded on 12 tribes. This new movement, this new community, was going to be founded on 12 apostles. It was a massive declaration that a new form of God's divine government was being established right then and there.
But if you think that's cool, just wait. The place where this pattern really just explodes is in the Bible's final book, Revelation. This is where the number 12 goes into complete overdrive, describing the ultimate picture of God's perfect government. Okay, so John gets this vision of the perfect heavenly city, the New Jerusalem. And what does it have? It's got 12 gates, and written on them are the names of the 12 tribes of Israel.
And the city wall itself is built on 12 foundations, and on those foundations are the names of the 12 apostles. You see? It's the Old and New Covenants coming together in one perfect city. Even the very life of the city is marked by this number. The tree of life in the center bears 12 different kinds of fruit, one for every single month. It's just everywhere.
And then you get the grand finale. The city wall itself is described as 144 cubits high,
And what's 144? It's 12 times 12. It's God's number for perfect government, squared. It's the ultimate, final, absolute expression of his perfect order.
Wow. Okay, this is really cool, right? It's like we found a secret blueprint hidden in the text. But so what? What does any of this mean for us, right here, right now? Why should this ancient pattern matter to you and me?
Well, here's what it means for you. First, it tells you that you are not an accident. You are part of God's perfect, divine order, and you have a place in it. Second, it shows that God is all about completion. Remember how the apostles had to replace Judas to get back to 12? God works to make broken things whole and to finish what he starts. And third, it shows that God's structure isn't there to box us in. It's the framework that actually allows his Spirit to move powerfully and bring beautiful order out of chaos.
Really, the whole message woven through this divine number is one of belonging. It all leads to this incredible idea from the Apostle Peter. You're not on the outside looking in. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. You're positioned right inside God's amazing plan.
So the number 12 isn't just some dusty historical fact. It's a key. It's a lens that helps us see a God of order, of purpose, and of completion, which really leaves us with just one question, doesn't it? Now that you know the code, where else are you going to start to see it?